everybody to Sugar Land Masonic Lodge. Thank you for being here with us tonight as we award some scholarships, recognize some Teachers of the Year, and recognize Mr. Doug Earl, our Community Builder Award recipient. Before we get the festivities started, I want everybody to rise. We're going to have an opening prayer and then say the pledges of allegiance.
Everybody please bow your heads. Supreme Geometrician of all, we ask again for your blessing as we recognize these great members of our community. You have set them as a plumb line amongst us, a demonstration of upright conduct and steadfast commitment. May we continue to serve you with the same freedom, fervency, and zeal as is exhibited in these honorees. In your name we pray. Amen.
So mote it be.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
God bless Texas.
Oh, y'all knew that was
I see
coming.
where it comes from now. Yeah.
All right, y'all please be seated. Thank you all for being with us here this evening. I'm going to let others tell you a little more about each individual award as we move through those awards this evening. But recently I spoke with one of our past masters of the lodge, and he gave me a little history lesson about how this night started 30 years ago. So to kick off the event, I want to share that history with you all. The man who related this to me has a name some of you in the Fort Bend area may be familiar with. It's Elkins. Larry is who I spoke to. He's the son of Lawrence, whom the high school is named after, the superintendent of Fort Bend ISD from 1974 to 1984. Both men are past masters of our lodge. The Elkins family has 80 years of service in Fort Bend ISD, and strangely enough, Larry is the only person in his family who wasn't an educator. But he made a contribution to our education in our community anyway. In 1991, he was in the same position I'm in now, and he wanted the lodge to realign itself with the historical relationship Texas Freemasonry shares with education. To do that, the officers of the lodge that year first considered holding a past master's fish fry for a dual purpose, to raise funds and get some of the past leadership involved in the lodge again. Larry tried to get Ernie Taylor and Buddy Wheeler, two distinguished, even at that early date, past masters, to run it. They both agreed, but after some more discussion, Laney Sims, who was also a past master of our lodge, persuaded Larry that a fish fry was going to be too expensive to put on both in cost and in labor. So the past master's fish fry turned into a barbecue fundraiser. Larry talked with the Methodist Church just across the street here and asked permission to use their lawn for this event on a Saturday. The church agreed as long as everything could be torn down in time for their Sunday services. But that was going to be impossible because there would be a huge rented circus-style tent set up for shade. And after further negotiation, the church said, you guys can use it as long as it's all cleaned up by Sunday, except for the tent. That could come down later. So the huge tent was set up, along with separate porta potties for men and women and a soda machine for refreshments. All the furnishings from the dining hall you were just in were moved across the street, and a temporary restaurant was established. Over on this side of the street, customers walked into the lodge, took a turn into the dining hall to grab a plate of barbecue from the line. Then they were escorted out the back door of the dining hall, and lodge members who were playing traffic cop guided them across the street to some seats under the circus-style tent. The lodge put in a lot of work, and after all the bills for the event were paid, we had $1,750 in profit. it was decided that $1,000 would be set aside to create a special account for the exclusive use of scholarships. Thus, our scholarship fund was born. The dream was to establish an annual barbecue fundraiser, and that one day it would be able to provide enough money in the principal that the lodge could award scholarships off the interest without a whole lot of work. So in May 1991, Sugar Land Masonic Lodge used the rest of the profit from that fundraiser to recognize an outstanding student with our first scholarship, $750 to a deserving student from Stafford High School. From those humble beginnings, the guys in the lodge at that time figured they could make it a little nicer for the community and easier on themselves by using the Sugar Land Community Center, removing the possibility of poor weather and the cost of providing a massive tent and toilets. The event could run more smoothly and perhaps our net profit would increase. A meeting was set with the city of Sugar Land, and when they heard our pitch and the cause we were supporting, they quoted the use of their facilities for the lodge at a price of $0. Larry said, "That's a good rate." I appreciate that. And so that led to more profitable fundraising efforts. Soon they added underwriters and sponsors, and the annual barbecue fundraiser was humming along. At its height, the lodge was serving over 600 plates of barbecue in an afternoon. Past Master Michael Banning was a fixture at the head of the committees that ran these events. Past Master Steve Schmidt donated a lot of commercial kitchen equipment that made these fundraising dinners and many normal meetings so much easier to run. An auction was also added. It ran on many donated items, but one that I wanted to focus on is a fishing trip for $750. It included room and board at a beach house on Galveston Island. Later, Judge Bud Childers suggested a way to turn that beach house into a more affordable event that included more people, and our Wild Game Weekend was born. Many Masons in this lodge know that house very well because of that series of events, and for many years this program was also a source of scholarship fundraising. Those guys all put in a lot of work 30 years ago and through the following years, and I'm proud to report that their dream of saving a large fund has paid off very well, because there have been several years in between where we didn't have a successful fundraiser, and we've still been able to give out these scholarships every year. And that's how the event you're attending tonight came to be. With that, I'll turn the program over to our chaplain, Past Master Dave Householder, who will tell us about the Honesty Integrity Award.
Worshipful Master. While brother deacons are assembling the chairs on the west side of the altar, I would like to introduce to you our two Honesty and Integrity Award recipients this year. We have Miss Crystal Lee from Travis High School. And then Mr. Benjamin Bankin. Also of Travis High School. If you'd please rise and if you please, brother deacons, would you please escort our recipients to the west side of the altar? Thank you. Guys get put in minutes. It is a pleasure to be here tonight to recognize two outstanding young people who are being presented as exemplars of our community, who possess and exhibit qualities that are of utmost importance in our society: honesty and integrity. With them are the parents and family members who share this honor. You may have wondered why me? What is this all about? What is the big deal about being honest and having integrity? And then, who are these people doing this? Well, hopefully in a short period, all these questions can be answered to your satisfaction. Before I get into that, I want to take a moment to explain why I say these qualities are of utmost importance, because that seems like such an unhelpful platitude. So let me explain. I think most people mean well. Certainly, there are plenty of people who consistently who make morally objectionable decisions. But most people seem to have a subconscious that guides them to make decent decisions throughout life. The trouble is, they don't stop to think about it. They kind of go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. Most of the time, they do the right thing, but occasionally they do the wrong thing. Often because they never stop to ask themselves if what they are doing is really good. That is where I think our guests of honor for this award differ. You were not just picked out of a hat. I asked our principal at Travis High School to check with the teachers and the counselors at our school, and you were the ones mentioned multiple times as students who are examples to others, perhaps quietly and unbeknownst to you. In their views, you uphold the character of being honest in your relationship with others, and you have integrity. Yes, you remind us, all the Masons in this room, of what we are supposed to practice in our lives daily. A couple of you teachers had some kind words that I'll share. First of all, Crystal. One teacher said, Crystal is one of the most genuine students I know. She tells it like it is, but with unique kindness and humor. Another said, who cares deeply about her friends. She's honest with everyone and will aid those in need. Sometimes being the adult in a situation, even when other adults are present. Benjamin's teachers said, Benjamin is a true standout amongst his peers. As a member of the track team, he has brought an exceptionally positive attitude and truly embodies both honesty and integrity in an intensely competitive environment. And Benjamin demonstrates extraordinary maturity for his age. He is an affirming peer, praising other students or thanking them when they make a good comment in a discussion or have an example from their essay shared during the lesson. He is intrinsically motivated and self-directed. At this point, I think it important to address an issue some of you who are familiar with the psychology of motivation may be wondering about. For those of you who are not already aware of the issue, there is evidence in psychological studies that warns us we should be careful about rewarding people for their good behavior, as it can have unintended consequence of undermining the intrinsic motivation that drives us to do good in the first place. So, how are we going to address that concern? There is no monetary award attached to this. You will not hear me say congratulations, or job well done, or any other phrase or praise in this talk, aside from thank you. But more importantly, in case my words stray from intent, I want to mention the phenomenon to you. My hope is that in being aware, your mind can correct for it. And I say this not only for our students, but for everyone here tonight. It is important to identify the idea that ethics and morality and virtue are things we can think about. There are those of us who do so, and in pointing it out, I hope more of us will make an effort to live our lives by the square of virtue, as Masons like to say. Your teachers have observed you and see you possessing all of the best qualities, and that is why you are asked here tonight. Never forget that someone is always watching you. It may be a brother, a sister, it may be a friend, but you have someone using you as their example. How you act, what you do, what you say, and how you do it. Be a leader in all that you do, all that you say, and treat others as you want to be treated. Live by that old golden rule. You may falter, but if you do, take the opportunity to apologize. Not with those hasty apologies that start with words, I'm sorry if. You know, the ones that throw it back on the one that you wronged, but do it with sincerity. It's okay to take the time to think about how you may have wronged someone and be vulnerable with an earnest apology. Appreciate you. I hope that answers the questions, why me? And what is the big deal about being honest and having integrity? In summary, you are here because you already have examples to others. You are someone's image of who they want to be. So now, who are the people doing this? Simply stated, we are Freemasons or Masons. It includes many different groups. For example, many of the men who are here are Masons. And you may have heard of the Scottish Rite or the Shriners for their famous hospitals. All of us are pledged to help each other and assist each other and to help those around us. There are about 2 million Masons in America, about 70,000 in Texas, and in Fort Bend County there are close to 400 Masons located in 3 lodges like the one you're sitting in now. Masonry originated in antiquity and continued in Europe with the builders of castles, cathedrals, and large stone buildings, many of which still exist today. So perfect and exact was the builder's work. Operative masons took rough stones, making them smooth and finely fitted, to construct magnificent buildings using labor and the arts and sciences such as geometry and arithmetic to plan and lay out their work. In London during the early 1700s, 4 of those lodges came together and formed the Grand Lodge and used the symbols of their buildings to teach the lessons of taking a man who was of rough stone and teaching him these moral arts and sciences of friendship, morality, and brotherly love, truth, and relief to those in need. The idea was to make each man into a symbolic, smooth stone acceptable to the master builder, God. Thus, speculative masonry was born. In this room, you see some of the symbols of speculative masonry. An altar sits in the middle of the rectangular room, and on it, the Word of God. We call it the volume of sacred law, because we accept men of any religion as a member. The presiding officer sits in the east as a symbol of the beginning of the day. The senior warden sits in the west as a symbol of the end of the day, and the junior warden sits in the south as a symbol of noon or the middle of the day. But another interpretation is also used. The east is youth, the west is death, and the south is representative of the time when we are in the fullness of our lives. So a person joins and symbolically takes a life's journey from birth to maturity to death, the human life, or in the time scales of the cosmos, a day. Beginning, ending, what happens in between is your life. How will you live? What will you do? What reputation will you leave behind? These are the questions Masonry tries to help us answer in an effort to bring out the best in every member. Emblems such as the square, the compasses, the level, the plum symbolically remind us to live a good life. And we each wear an apron, the builder's symbol to keep us clean from daily labor. By practicing our arts and sciences as the symbols they teach us, doing good for mankind and being a brother, and living life with honesty and integrity, we hope that when we come to the West at the close of our lives, we have a good report to give. So we look around us and recognize others who we think are living such a good life as they begin that journey still in the east of their youth, not quite in the south of adulthood, and say, live well your life and live it with honesty and integrity. We think we have found 2 who are. We don't congratulate you, but we thank you for being who you are. Thank you for trying to lead and for trying to be the best. Thank you to your parents and family who have guided you to this point. Never forget that there are those who are watching you. You are someone's example. Remember to keep honesty and integrity a part of your character all your life. Thank you. Worshipful Master, would you assist me in awarding these young? And as such, we have some small tokens for our appreciation. We have a golden key set inside of a nifty little frame. This one says Benjamin Banking, Sugar Land Lodge, number 1141, Honesty and Integrity. Along with a certificate. It says Honesty and Integrity Award is in Benjamin Banking in recognition of his dedication to upholding moral and social virtues while setting an example both academically and socially. Presented by Sugar Land Lodge number 1141, Sugar Land, Texas.
This one is for Crystal Lee, Sugar Land Lodge number 1141, Honesty Integrity Award. Honesty and Integrity Award presented to Crystal Lee in recognition of her dedication to upholding moral and social virtues while setting an example both academically and socially. Presented by Sugar Land Lodge number 1141, AS&AM, Sugar Land, Texas. Given this 18th day of May, AD 2022, AL 6022, signed by myself and our secretary. We will correct that name. Congratulations. Thank you. They spelled the name, last name wrong on the plaque. You can take care of it. Thank you. Brother Junior Warden, would you like to tell us about the Teacher of the Year?
Yes, I would. Podium, please. Good evening, everyone. We're about here to honor 6 Teachers of the Year from Fort Bend Independent School District and Stafford Municipal District. If I could get the brothers to take to the chairs here, we have Miss Angel Porter. Miss Megan Atkins. And Miss Carolina Severs. The Masonic fraternity is known for its charity work. As a matter of fact, all the Masonic organizations in the country taken together contribute over $1 million to charity every single day. Sorry. And the fraternity has long supported public schools. In the early days, most lodges were 2-story buildings. The lodge met on the 2nd floor and encouraged the local churches and schools to meet on the ground floor. Many lodges started public schools themselves in their lodge buildings and paid the teachers' salaries. The second president of the Republic of Texas, Mirabeau Bonaparte Lamar, who is buried right out here in Morton Cemetery, just down the road in Richmond. He was a Mason and is known as the father of the Texas public school system because his work resulted in the state of Texas setting up public school systems. Given that Masonry and Texas education have such a close kinship with each other, we like to honor our district teachers of the year. Teachers are oftentimes the unsung heroes of our lives, yet we remember the ones that made an impact on our lives the most. To those who have gone above and beyond their duties, they are recognized by their schools and their districts as Teachers of the Year. We at Sugar Land Masonic Lodge also recognize these teachers in our surrounding school districts. Let's start with Ms. Porter. She is a native Houstonian, graduated from Prairie View A&M with a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies. She is in her 4th year as a 3rd grade teacher, 3rd grade math and science teacher at Stafford Elementary. She has also spent time as an online ESL instructor teaching students in China how to read in English. Ms. Porter is known for going above and beyond her duties as a teacher and as a team player. She has proven to be well respected among her colleagues as well as the community, and this is why she was chosen Elementary School Teacher of the Year. Outside of teaching, she enjoys singing in the church choir, being a mom to our 2 sons, Austin and Bruce, laughing, and spending time with her family and friends. She is very big on family and relationships. I have to go to these notes. Ms. Atkins, she has been teaching for 4 years at Stafford High School. Her background is psychology and Russian from Texas Tech University, where she got a bachelor's degree, and she began her career in AmeriCorps. She teaches 11th grade U.S. history and AP human geography. She is the assistant director of the UIL one-act play, which made school history by advancing to, where did that go? I'm sorry, my notes are a little disrupted here. They advanced to,
Area
Area.
competition.
Thank you.
Apologies.
I didn't catch that. She is a participant in the National Endowment for the Humanities, a Henry David Thoreau Scholar Program, and member of the Thoreau Society. She's a technical theater director. I mean, she does a lot with the students. She's well liked and very active. The work volunteering as a tutor in AmeriCorps shows her care for the world at large, and we're glad to have her here. And finally, we have Miss Sievers, who is a repeat winner with our lodge as Teacher of the Year. She is originally from Venezuela and graduated from the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C. with an undergraduate and graduate degree in engineering. She has taught at the School of Engineering at the University of Andes in Merida, Venezuela. I always say that, even in the Mexican one I say wrong. After moving to Houston, she stayed involved in education. She has been department chair, director of education, and campus director in 2 local 2-year colleges. She joined the Stafford Municipal School District in 2013. She teaches math and science for the 4th and 5th grade at the Stafford Magnet Academy. In addition, she is the campus coordinator for the Texas English Language Proficiency Assessment System. She is the team leader for the academy and the robotics coach. This year, she took 2 teams to the first LEGO League East Area FLL Championship. Both teams received several awards in robot design, project innovation, robot performance, and team skills. She has one son, Luke, who currently attends the University of Houston. I knew you'd like that. Her involvement in the community goes well beyond her school. She has been a supporter of the Wellspring Village since 2001, which is a transitional residence program for women that protects and empowers neglected women who have been victims of alcohol, drugs, domestic violence, or homelessness. She's been an active volunteer at Holy Family Church, St. Lawrence Catholic Church School, St. Lawrence Parish, and at Straight Jesuit. Other Teachers of the Year from Fort Bend and Stafford who could not be with us tonight are Byron Tompkins from Stafford Middle School, Robin Cox from Commonwealth Elementary School, and Zeta Rodriguez from McAuliffe Middle School. Worship Master, would you like to assist me at the altar here? Okay. Friends and family, you can take pictures all you want. You can get up and walk around, it's okay. All right, this part. We'd like to award you the Mirabeau Eagle Mar Medal. On the back, it's engraved with your name and year there. And also have an honorary for you here. And we have a certificate, which I'm reading here. Grand Lodge of Texas, AF and AM, Mirabeau Bugle Mar Award of Excellence, awarded to Angel Porter for personal achievement. It says Mirabeau Bugle Mar, the 2nd President of the Republic of Texas, has been called the father of the Texas public school system for his leadership in establishing quality public education in Texas. Lamar was a member of the Masonic fraternity, known then as he is today for strong support of excellence in the public schools. With this award, we recognize your exemplary achievement and offer our warmest congratulations to you and your school. Given this 18th day of May, AD 2022, AL 6022, by Sugar Land Masonic Lodge, number 1141, Sugar Land, Texas, signed Sammy Larby, Worshipful Master, and David Burns, Secretary.
Thank you.
credit is given to Megan Atkins for personal achievement. Same thing about, the mark given this 18th day, 2022, signed by the Master and the Secretary. Receivers? No? Not at all.
Your name was familiar.
I've been here before. You guys are generous.
And again, the certificate, which is awarded to Carolina Seavers for personal achievement. We talked about River Blue Lamar, given the 16th day of May 80, 2022, and signed by the Worship Master and the Secretary.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be ladies and
Thank you.
I'd like to ask if any of the teachers would like to address the lodge and introduce your visitors, your guests that come with you today, if you can, if you'd like.
I'd like to. From there? Or from, I apologize. From here, that's fine. I want to, in the name of my school, Stafford, family and friends, I'd like to thank the Lodge for your kindness and your generosity for supporting education. We're coming out of 2 very difficult years. We've lost a lot of teachers. There have been a lot of attrition, and we have real champions here. There are 3 of us here, but there are hundreds behind us. Thank you for supporting education. Thank you for doing this. We truly appreciate it. I want to briefly ask you, I have my parents from Venezuela, my principal is Ian, and my husband and my son will be here before the academy. Thank you.
With that, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Love attention. I'd just like to thank the Lodge of Sugarland. My grandfather was a Freemason, so I know he's going to be very proud of me. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow Stafford teachers. It's been awesome working with you guys. That's all.
Miss Porter appears to be busy being a mom. Been there.
Being a mom?
And parents.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Good form.
I'm a parent with a child. Not a mom. It's a hard enough job. So, let's see. No? Okay. We can give her time later. We'll move on to the next part here. All right. We're now going to honor our 2 scholarship winners. We have Miss Courtney Powers and Miss Vienna Rogers. If I can get the members to escort them to a chair here. There you go. The great state of Texas and the Masonic Grand Lodge share a rich history. The early settlers of the wilderness that would become known as Texas included families whose members were committed to the principles of Freemasonry. In December of 1837, their commitment resulted in the establishment of the Masonic Grand Lodge of the Republic of Texas. The role of Masons in the establishment of public education in Texas has benefited generations of Texans. As individuals and as members of the fraternity, Masons were influential and instrumental in the establishment of a strong public education system. In 1951, the Freemasons initiated the statewide celebration known as Texas Public Schools Week. It was the desire of the Grand Lodge to create a long-lasting program of collaboration with all Texas citizens. Texas Public Schools Week is celebrated usually in early March of each year. Masons also helped our young students by providing dental kits, complete with instructions on proper dental hygiene to local first graders in disadvantaged schools. Each year, Masons donate millions of dollars to charities and to the educational future of the youth in our communities. Sugar Land Lodge alone has given multiple scholarships every year for the past 3 decades, totaling hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is a tradition we are very proud to continue this evening. Ms. Powers is a senior at Ridgepoint High School in Fort Bend ISD and intends to attend Georgetown University in the fall, majoring in political science. She is a varsity swimmer for 4 years, participated in the academic decathlon for 3 years, formed the club Operation Smile to assist those with cleft lips, participated in a 2-year student leadership program where she learned leadership skills from the Fort Bend Women's Shelter, which is interesting because we provide the Thanksgiving dinners to them every year, every person at that place. So we share with that charity there. She is the president of Mu Alpha Theta, a math honor society, where she expanded the free math tutor program. She enjoys learning about history by reading and visiting museums and cooking. She has worked as a lifeguard and a babysitter. She volunteers at the Houston Food Bank, is a volunteer intern for Houston City Council member Letitia Plummer, and advocates vigorously for those in need. Ms. Rogers, no relation, is a senior at Elkins High School in Fort Bend ISD. And to let you know, on the second row, second picture to the left, is the man the school was named after. That's Mr. Elkins there. And she intends to attend the University of Texas at Austin this fall, focusing on eventually obtaining a law degree to help bring justice to all by reducing prejudice and creating racial equality. She has served as treasurer of the National Honor English Society, treasurer of the Red Cross Club, is a member of the Engineering Academy, and has acted in several productions in a theater troupe. Her hobbies include learning about history, government, and criminology. She also enjoys baking and cooking. She has volunteered by donating and decorating lunch bags for Lunches of Love, packaging food for Rise Against Hunger, donating and wrapping gifts for Wish Upon a Star, donating and packaging books for Books Between Kids, distributing donations for Second Mile Mission, donating and distributing cookies and brownies to the Parks Youth Ranch Homeless Shelter, and performing holiday piano concerts at retirement homes. Certificate, which I will read verbatim here. The Grand Lodge of Texas AF and AM Mirabeau B. Lamar Award of Excellence awarded to Courtney Powers for personal achievement. I'm not going to repeat this part, it talks about Lamar again. And we congratulate you and your school given this 18th day of May, AD 2022, AL 6022 by Sugar Land Masonic Lodge, number 1141, Sugar Land, Texas, signed by Sandy Martin, Local Master, David Burns, Secretary.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to go ahead and read the entire information. That's going to tell you how to get the money to the school when you get there. Grand Lodge of Texas, AF and AM, Mirabeau B. Lamar Award of Excellence awarded to Vienna Rogers for personal achievement. Mirabeau B. Lamar, the second president of the Republic of Texas, has been called the father of the public school system in Texas. Same thing that he said. Given this 18th day of May, AD 2022, AL 6022, signed by myself and our secretary, Brother David Byrne. Congratulations.
much the scholarships are that we've given out this year. Each recipient is getting $6,000.
While you're on that subject, I didn't catch you mention it, but across all the lodges in Texas, Freemasonry is giving away $2.4 million in scholarships in Texas this year.
Ladies, if you'd like to say a few words to the lodge and introduce your guests, before we do, we can start recording.
Oh, should I stay over there?
I would just like to say thank you to the lodge. I really appreciate you guys helping me fund my education, and I'm excited to go to Washington, D.C. and having this opportunity. I'm going to carry this with the rest of my life, the generosity that I've seen here today. And in my party, I have my younger sister, Brooke, my older sister, Kylie, and my mom, who looks like she's crying there, and then my dad and my grandma, who flew from Michigan.
I would also just like to thank the lodge for the support and the support for education and all of us here. It's really great to know that there are people still continuing to help us fund our education, because everyone knows that college is expensive. It's very expensive now, so I just want to say thank you. This means a lot to me. It also means a lot to my parents, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without their support and continuation of their support. So they're with me today, and so that's thank you.
Well, once again, we hope you will prosper in your education endeavors and become outstanding members of our local community. We really look forward to seeing you succeed in the future. And finally, we are going to honor our Community Builder Award winner. If I can have someone conduct our winner, Mr. Douglas Earl, to seat here in the east, or not the east, but actually close to the altar there. Of course, it's not only our teachers, students, and certainly not just Masons who support the community. Many other people and organizations give their time and money each year to make their community a better place. It is this spirit that the Grand Lodge set up an award, the Community Builder Award, to be given out each year to a distinguished citizen. This award is designed to enable the Lodge to formally recognize outstanding non-Masons who have distinguished themselves through their service to the community, to the local, state, and national governments, to the religious institutions, or to humanity. They may be found in service clubs, in public school systems, in religious activities, in public office, in military or patriotic organizations, in all sorts of volunteer work. Everywhere we look, but often do not see. It is my pleasure that we are going to honor Mr. Earl here. And let me just get a few things about his accomplishments with the community. It's not that much. We're not going to be here till midnight. But he has a long, long list of what he has done. Mr. Earl is married with 2 grown daughters and 2 grandsons. He is an active member of Southminster Presbyterian Church for 27 years, where he has served on the Mission Committee, on the Outreach Committee, as the Caring Sons leader, on the Family Promise team, as the Nominating Committee Chair, on the Personnel Committee, as a prayer partner with 2nd graders, as a mentor at Quail Valley Elementary School, and as a former deacon and elder. He has been an active member of the Exchange Club of Sugar Land for 27 years, where he has served as the past board member, served as president, on the Nominating Committee Membership Committee, on the Spaghetti Cook-Off Committee, as the Dulles High School Excel Club Liaison, as the current president of the Exchange District. He serves as a board member for Sienna Mud number 5. He is a Big Brother, Big Sister Advisory Board member. He is a Fort Bend ISD School Health Advisory Council member. With the Fort Bend Family Promise, he has served as a board member, as the Marketing Development Committee Chair, and on the Church Relations Committee. He has served as a coach and mentor with the First Tee. With the East Fort Bend Human Needs Ministry, he has served as a board member and volunteers in the food pantry. He is a Meals on Wheel deliverer. He volunteers with Second Servings. He is a small group leader with Bridges to Life. He is a Child Advocates of Fort Bend volunteer. He is a Commit for Life blood donor. And a fun fact is he's the oldest speed golfer in America. It is with great pleasure that I present to everyone here Mr. Douglas Earl, winner of the 2022 Community Builder Award from Sugar Land Lodge.
And I've heard you do those Meals on Wheels delivery. It's not on wheels, but you're running, right?
I do take a car.
Mr. Earl, here is the Community Builder Award presented to Doug Earl in recognition of his distinguished service and personal contributions to the community of Sugar Land, Texas. Presented by Sugar Land Lodge, number 1141 AF and AM, Sugar Land, Texas, given this 18th day of May, AD 2022, AL 6022, signed by the Worship Master Sandy Larby and Secretary David Bartlett.
Community Builder Award from the Masonic Grand Lodge of Texas, Doug Earl, 2022, Sugar Land Masonic Lodge, 1141. So tonight, we've covered a lot about Masons try to have an outward.
Excuse me. We forgot to let him have a moment to speak.
You're right, we do.
Sorry about that.
Mr.
There's my wife here. First of all, let me say congratulations to the young ladies for your accomplishments and your cash. That's really cool. And teachers, congratulations to y'all for your efforts each and every day on behalf of students in our community. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank God for giving me the spirit to do what I do. It's a little embarrassing to be recognized for things that I just love to do anyway. You know, I have fun doing all my volunteer activities, but God has given me the spirit to do those, so I want to thank God first. And I want to thank my parents who actually are in heaven, but they, when I was a kid, they volunteered at church and in the community. They didn't tell me to volunteer, they showed me volunteerism. And so I just followed in their footsteps. Thirdly, I want to thank my wife for putting up with me. She kind of rolls her eyes sometimes when I'm doing all my stuff, but I think she supports me. And she's a great partner. And I want to thank my friends from the Exchange Club for coming this evening. Y'all are a real blessing to me, so thank you all. And finally, I want to thank my buddy here, Thad, for nominating me. I'll get you later, Thad. But I'm humbled by this, and I really sincerely thank the Lodge and all the Masons for for your support. It's a real honor. I don't volunteer to get honors, really, I volunteer to serve. And so, to me, this is just a dress rehearsal for later on. So, thank you all very much.
So tonight, we've covered a lot about how Masons try to have an outward impact in our communities through the recognizing the honesty and integrity, recognizing builders of our community, recognizing the teachers who help build our communities, and the students who with scholarships. But to close, I'd like to give you all a peek inward and tell you about how we try to have an indirect impact on our communities. Our purpose in this lodge and all of Freemasonry it's not tied directly with public education or even with charity in a broader sense. Even if our tenets do include charity in a biblical sense. The fraternity, yes, awards medals and scholarships and honoraria to students and teachers in public education, and we recognize people like Doug, who we feel help build up our community, but we have an internal focus as well. And the way we like to describe that focus is we take a good man and help make him better. We do that through education. Let me pause for a second, because you may have heard some strange terms, like in the prayers he says the great architect or the grand geometrician. The reason we do that is because we don't have what's the word I'm looking for here? We don't have a specific creed here. We accept good men of all faiths and creeds. So we do that as a way to be inclusive to men of all faiths. We do our education through an examination of symbolism. And not just that, but also studying liberal arts and sciences. So through this instruction, Sugar Land Lodge has made teachers and police officers, computer scientists and physicists, accountants and investors and executives and engineers and lawyers and bureaucrats and elected officials, indeed men from all walks of life, better men. Our relationship with education is not constrained to the esoteric knowledge that aids in our spiritual, moral, and intellectual growth. In my own Masonic experience, I've gone from being petrified of speaking in public to, well, presiding over this program tonight. When I first joined, I had trouble introducing myself to a stranger and holding a conversation with them. Now I do that with regularity. So education is near and dear to the heart of every Texas Mason, but it has a higher purpose than merely adorning the mind. It is central to good citizenship. As Eleanor Roosevelt, who herself was not a Mason, said, y'all were supposed to laugh at that.
Her husband.
Yes, it is not only in the courses bearing directly on history and government that citizenship can be taught. The child taking Latin and mathematics is also learning invaluable lessons in citizenship. The power of concentration and accuracy which these studies develop will later mean a man or a woman be able to understand and analyze a difficult situation. So, a zealous study of the liberal arts and sciences is recommended to all Masons for these reasons. It produces good minds and good citizens. We admire this value so much that we established the ways and funded the means of encouraging and rewarding it outside the privacy of our own lodge rooms. And now to close us out, Brother Chaplain, would you please offer a prayer of benediction?
Everybody please bow your heads. Grand Architect of the universe, as we prepare to depart from this gathering, may we be thankful for the fellowship and the new knowledge and friendships that we have gained today. Strengthen us to go forth and boldly finish the tasks we have set for ourselves. Teach us the importance of duty and faithfulness to our obligations. Keep us safe as we return to our respective homes, that we may further opportunity to serve you, O God, in this great fraternity. Amen.
Thank you all for being here. That concludes the ceremony. However, if you could stick around for some pictures, I'd love to try to get the whole group up here just so we can snap one picture of everybody. Thank you all very much for being here.